Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and in today's video we're going to keep it stupid simple and talk about key areas of support and resistance within the Bitcoin and Ethereum chart. Those are the two main charts within crypto that you want to keep a focus on to tell you what the entire cryptocurrency market is going to be doing and where we're headed. Please, if you appreciate the comments, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, hit the thumbs up button, and leave a comment. So just a quick disclosure, as always, that none of what I'm sharing is financial advice. I'm looking to educate, help, and to spread sound technical analysis to the community to help others in making informed decisions. However, the ownership falls on you to make your own personal financial decisions. Let's get into it. Here I am on Twitter. Look at me. All right, so for all of those who participated in the first Bitcoin Crypto Happy Hour, thank you. This is a chart that I quickly updated. It got a little bit more clean, but what we're going to do is I shared this chart on that happy hour with everyone. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this weekly view of Bitcoin. We're not going to look at moving averages. We may look at the RSI real quick, but we're going to remove the price indicators, and we're just going to look at price action. The question we're going to ask ourselves is, where are key areas of support and resistance? This will help us to feel more confident in the likely direction, not a certain direction. There's nobody on Twitter, there's no one on YouTube that knows with certainty where things are going. But what we can do is we can use this price data to help us assess what the likelihood is of key areas remaining as support and key areas providing resistance, right? So the way that I drew these key areas of support. Let's focus on the key areas of support first. Those are always going to be green lines. I always use green lines as support and red lines of resistance. You know that if you've been subscribed to the channel for a while. So what I did is I focused on the weekly chart, and then I took a more granular view and looked at the 3-day chart to come up with these key areas of support. Now, one of the things you want to consider when you're coming up and drawing your own key areas, you want to look at where price confluence is, and you also want to take a look at typical time frames that many other traders will look at. A lot of traders, a lot of people who read charts, they look at very similar time frames, right? So a weekly is a key indicator, a key chart, I should say. So you can see there is some price confluence in this area. If I actually zoom in on the 3-day, and I'll comment even further why I'm looking at a 3-day, you can see there's a lot of price confluence in this area, and it looks like that's right around 19,000. We're just going to call it just above 19,000 all the way down to, we're going to call this 16,600, okay? So, and the other key thing to keep in mind when you're drawing key areas of resistance and support, it's not about getting an exact price dollar, okay? There are typically zones, especially within a volatile asset like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency projects. There are zones of resistance and support, but I've drawn lines in this case. So what I would say to you is, at current price levels right now, we're sitting, as long as we haven't changed much, let's take a look. Yeah, we're sitting just over 20,000. So if we were to dip below 20,000, this is your first key area. I've drawn it out here, okay? This is your first key area in here between 16 and 19,000 that you want to watch to see if support holds. If we start to flush through that area, I'm actually going to go back to a weekly view just to condense price data. If we do end up flushing through this area, the next zone of support that I have drawn here is between 13,800. That was our wave one top back in 2019, in the summer of 2019. And all the way down here at 12,900. Again, you can see there is some price confluence in this area. We got some touches here, touches here, touches here. If we really zoom in here, you can see I like to draw areas of price confluence with wicks and candle bodies. Candle bodies are even more significant. So you can see candle body, and then you can see, I'm zooming around too quickly. You can see a wick right up here. And then there was a wick up here as well to the $12,200 area. So those are my main key areas of support if price, and I do want to stress this, okay? There's a lot of people right now on Twitter feeling with 100% certainty that price is going to enter a certain area. Typically, when everyone starts to feel that way, I would take a contrarian view, right? So while I'm looking at this and we're sort of just hanging out in this price area with not a whole lot of support, and 19 to 16,000 does look likely, in my opinion, it doesn't have to hit these price levels. It doesn't have to. Keep in mind, and I shared this on the live stream, it's a beautiful thing as you're entering a parabola. This was a parabola. But the unfortunate thing as you're building a parabola is there are no stair steps, okay? So the example that I gave on the Bitcoin Crypto Happy Hour, and you want to check that out, it's going to be Wednesdays live around 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe to the channel to get notifications for that. But what I gave the example of was a tree. If you climb a tree and you fall and there's no tree branches for you to grab onto, chances are you're going to fall to the bottom, right? Versus if you climb a tree to the top and you slip and fall and there's some branches to grab onto, you might be able to pull yourself up to safety and not fall off the tree. That's the example of a parabola versus building stair steps up. It's nice when you can build higher highs and higher lows up, because as price falls, those prior areas of price confluence, the stair steps, they provide support, okay? So in this case, because we did have parabolic price action, there's really there's just not a lot of there's not a lot of stair steps in there, okay? So that's one of the unfortunate things. Bringing it back to the dollar real quick, and I also hit this on the happy hour. Right now, the dollar index, which is good for us, good to see in my opinion, is this is creating a parabola. So when this thing does break down, okay, there's not going to be a whole lot of stair-step action to grab onto. This thing is entering overbought territory. And if you've been on this channel for a while, you know the historical importance of the DXY, because the DXY and crypto have historically had an inverse relationship. So what that means is, as the dollar at some point, once it does become overbought and we exit this parabola and it starts to dip down, crypto will end up going up based on history, right? So because the dollar has exhibited so much strength, that's one of the other indicators you can use to tell you why crypto has been so weak. Once we start to really see a fall within the DXY, we should start to see some really strong movements within crypto. So keep that in mind. So these are my areas of support. The two main areas of resistance that I'm keeping an eye on, and again, okay, so I have this drawn at 29,388 and 31,800. You could make the argument, you could move this line, okay? Someone could make the argument you could move the line maybe here. Maybe it's at just over 32,000, okay? The point is not to get too cute with the numbers. There's a zone in between 29,000 and 32,000, okay? We have to see price action get above this level. The next thing to watch for, okay, so these are two main areas of resistance. Those are the ones that I would focus on, 29 and 32, that area, just that whole zone. The next thing I would focus on is this descending line of resistance, right? Because what's unfortunately been going on is we have created stair steps down. This is the basic building blocks of a bearish narrative. We had a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and now a lower low. We have to reverse that trend. So what we need to do is we need to negate these lower highs. And the first way we can do that is to eventually break out above this $29,000 to $32,000 area, right? So we break out, we come up. It's very common for price action at that point, if it's bullish, to either backtest this area as support, further refining it as recreating it as support, or maybe we wick down back to this descending line of resistance, and then we continue up. Wow, this, I did not, as I was drawing this, intend to draw it this way. So we're just gonna take that off the screen. If you didn't catch that, rewind. So anyway, those are, those are the areas of resistance that we wanna look for. Wow, that was amazing. That was like right out of a weather forecast clip on YouTube, funny clips. If you appreciate the content, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel with the little bell icon. So key areas of support, key areas of resistance. The only other thing I wanted to quickly touch on outside of that is, and I tweeted about this, we are at historic levels within the RSI. Let's just look at the relative strength index. Now, this doesn't tell us that we've definitively bottomed. But these green horizontal lines are all areas of prior support. They've all been broken. We even bottomed lower than our January 15 RSI. We're currently sitting at 26.13. We have created an all-new all-time low in the weekly RSI for Bitcoin. Now, what that tells me is that we are overdue for a strong bounce, and depending how things play out, we don't know. There's a likelihood in each direction. It could be a dead cat bounce, and we could go further down to the price levels that I spoke about, right? Or it could be the beginning stages of being oversold, and we begin to create those basic building blocks of a bullish narrative and create the higher highs and higher lows. So that's really what we want to watch out for. I guess the last thing I would comment on this view is, let's just go to a daily real quick. You really just want to see price begin to consolidate in this area. And we want to start to create these higher highs and higher lows. That's ultimately what you want to see. And don't get freaked out. If we do end up breaking up and we come back down, again, we typically like to, if we break prior areas of resistance, we like to back test it as support. So we have to remain patient to see how this is going to play out. Ethereum, this is the king altcoin. You really want to keep an eye on Ethereum to understand how altcoins will potentially behave. Because again, it doesn't matter which projects that you personally are invested in or believe in fundamentally, okay? Clearly, I believe in the Holy Crypto Trinity, right? But the Holy Crypto Trinity, HBAR and One and Mana, even though they were some of the strongest altcoins in the prior Wave 3 movement, and again, this is a correction. This is not a massive bear market that we're entering, in my opinion. Notice I said Wave 3 movement up, and we're in a Wave 4 correction. But anyway, Bitcoin is the king cryptocurrency project, and Ethereum is the king altcoin cryptocurrency project. And so you really need to keep an eye on both of those projects to better understand and anticipate how the rest of the market is going to behave. It's very critical. So let's look at Ethereum. So what I would say here is we broke a key area of support right here that I have drawn. This is a weekly. I apologize. This is a weekly chart. So we broke a key area of support right here. That should be drawn as resistance around 1730. Okay, and now this whole green, you see this green horizontal rectangular box here? This is representing between wicks. Okay, if you look, the wick is way up here, and then we have two candle bodies down here. So I drew this green horizontal rectangle to represent a prior area of support based on the prior all-time high. Ethereum broke down below its prior all-time high. So where are we at? Well, we're sort of in limbo right now. It's very important to keep in mind, no matter what areas of price confluence it exists within a chart and where you begin to draw prior areas of support and resistance, there are also psychological levels, okay? Human emotion is built into charts and data, okay? So in the case of Bitcoin, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, they're all even numbers, and so those represent psychological levels, okay, that you want to watch to either provide support or resistance. Same with Ethereum. $1,000 is a psychological level. So I drew here, and again, I used the 3-day and weekly, and I'll spare you the time to actually showing you all this, but I have drawn key areas of support right at about 789. Again, let's not get cute with numbers. We can call it 800, okay? And I have another area right around $1,000, which isn't surprising. It's just under 1,000 at 974. I have it drawn, 975. So what I would say right now, price in Ethereum is hanging out around $1,100, okay? What I would watch for is for this area right here between 1,000 and 800 to hold as support. If we begin to break down below $800, I'll put out a video and we can kind of talk about where things might go from there. But this is the key area to watch. So again, same sort of premise for Ethereum. You want to see price consolidate here and begin to build basic stair steps up. Now, what about key areas of resistance? Well, this prior all-time high region was an area of support. It's now resistance. This really should be red. So around 17, it looks like, around $1,400, right around $1,400. That's going to be our first key area of resistance. The next key area I have drawn here is around $1,700. So everything in between this zone of 13 to 17, this is going to be major resistance. We have broken down below the floor. We need to burst back up. We need to get above that shit. So, anyway, we want to break above 13 to 1700, okay? Once we do that, similar story as Bitcoin, okay? Same sort of thought process. we have a descending line of resistance. Okay, we need to break above the descending line of resistance. We need to negate the lower highs. So let's get above this whole area. Let's break above the descending resistance. Maybe we backtest to here. Maybe we wick to a lower level in here to coincide with prior areas of resistance, because it's very bullish to backtest it and form support. And then we just want to break up and break our prior all-time high, which was around 4,900. The last thing I wanted to comment on real quick, and we're going to close out the video, is the Bitcoin dominance. Now, interestingly enough, I had a bear flag and descending triangle that I've spoken to many times here, which was negated. What's happening right now, I'm really stressing to drink out of this water bottle because it sucks. I need to get a new water bottle. If you have any water bottle recommendations that keep water cold, because I like cold water, drop a comment, because this thing sucks, okay? Just saying, it's very irritating. So, as you can see, and I just spoke to this, look at this descending line of resistance. Resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke out, right? We broke out. Look what's happening. Now, what we want to see is, will this descending line of resistance hold as support? And will we begin creating more higher highs? Or, I mean, there's a couple scenarios. Will we do that? Scenario 1. Scenario 2, will we plummet below and eventually backtest this area? If that were to happen, every time we hit an area, more and more times it becomes weaker, okay? So if that would happen, I would fully anticipate a breakdown in dominance, Bitcoin dominance, which would mean altcoins dominance would be going up, their share of the market would be going up. Or the other scenario, so that's scenario 2. Scenario 3 I could see playing out would be, we come down here, we backtest this, we form support, we sort of just hover around here for a little bit, but it's sort of weak price action, and we eventually break down. So those are sort of the 3 scenarios that I'm watching for. And the way this dovetails into another video that I'm going to put out, I don't know if it's going to be next week or it's going to be this weekend. We'll see how much time I have. But I want to actually speak to a few altcoins that I'm watching and their relativity values to Bitcoin and Ethereum, because there are some interesting things and some projects I'm watching that are experiencing strength and showing greater strength relative to Bitcoin right now, and which has been occurring over the past couple years. So we'll get into that in the next video. And then another future video real quick I wanted to hit on. I'm actually going to give you 3 to 5, I'm thinking 4 steps to watch for to leave you feel convicted that we truly are turning things around and entering our final Wave 5 euphoric price movement within the crypto space. So I hope you appreciated the content. If you did, again, drop a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, let's spread awareness and carry the education forward.
So what you gonna do, $5 on CryptoBullGod and his crypto maniacs and the entire